It's way faster. It's not enough room here.
Let's talk about my Ford GT. There's a lot more potential in this chassis than what the electronics currently allow. So right now it has that brushed Titan 12 term with the XL5 ESC. I've decided that I do have another vehicle that would be a good fit for this electronics, so stay tuned for that. I've decided that it's time to upgrade this. I did see a video just yesterday by Driftomaniacs. Shout out to them because they've motivated me to go out and get this. This is the Castle Sidewinder V3 brushless ESC and motor combo. So I'm getting the 5700 kilovolt motor option that allows me to run the ESC in 2 or 3S LiPo, and I can run it with on-road cars. You do get a censored motor, so that's great. That's what kind of kicked me over the choice of buying this. A, it's waterproof, so it's going to be a great brushless bash system. And let's just start an unboxing here. This is the new updated model that comes with censored motor. The ESC is not censored, but the motor is. So for me, that's really good. So this will be the ESC, and this one will be the motor. Ideal for 110 scale on-road and off-road vehicles up to 5 pounds. And it's a 5700 kilovolt motor, so that means that it's approximately the equivalent of an 8 to a 7.5 turn, something like that. A quick setup sheet. This is the sensor cable, so if you run it on an ESC with a sensor port, that's how you get the censored operation. You get some screws, and there's your motor, Castle censored. Now I'm surprised that it doesn't have a cover over it, because this is supposed to be a waterproof motor and ESC. So I'm really surprised that they keep that sensor port just wide open like that. It doesn't even come with a little cap. So that's interesting. Now the ESC is very simplistic. The ESC, like I said before, is not censored. So it's just meant for bashing. Driver's ed guide here included. Bunch of documentation. Oh, was there a sticker? Do we get nice Castle? Oh, we do! Nice. I always appreciate it when you get stickers. Very simplistic ESC. Cooling fin. You get your 4mm bullet connectors, so your motor leads plug directly into that. It has a long separate power switch, which I'm not a big fan of. I do wish that it was just a switch on the ESC. It just makes it nice and clean. We do have a fairly long receiver lead. This will go into your receiver box. And that's pretty much it to it. So the only thing I have to do is I do have to solder a battery connector on. Now I was trying to decide what I want to do for that. I do have some XT90s, but those are really big. That's overkill for an on-road car. I don't want to use XT90. I also have some Deans or Star Plug or whatever other universal type you want to call these. These are fine too, but most of my batteries are Traxxas, so I think I'm actually going to lean towards soldering on a Traxxas high current connector. The non-ID type. I pulled off an ID plug off one of my other cars because I don't like how big and clunky they are. I like the old original Traxxas high current connector. A lot of you are probably screaming at me, no, put Deans on it. I don't really like how small the Deans plug is. I feel like it's much easier for me to grip the Traxxas connector when I'm plugging and unplugging. Alright, so that's pretty much all there is to it. I'll show you how to take the ESC off because I don't remember seeing that anywhere on YouTube. And then after that, it's literally just install the ESC, install the motor, and then we can get out there and start ripping it up. Alright, now hopefully you've seen me already take off the motor a few times for doing the pinion changes. It's the 4 screws to hold this motor cover on. They're all the same size. So undo that, and then you can just lift your motor straight out. It's just on this little fixed motor plate. I just have to, well, I don't even have to undo these wires. I do need to take my pinion off, take my motor plate off, because I'm going to transfer those over to the new brushless motor. Get the ESC off. It looks like it's probably just 2 screws. It's these 2 screws here from the underside of the chassis. Undo those and your ESC comes off. So let's do that now. And then I just need to open up the receiver box, because the receiver box is where your ESC lead goes. That's how your ESC gets a signal from your radio. Now the ESC should just lift right off. And it does. Plug this wire from the receiver box. Now the receiver box is the new Traxxas 2017 style. It's new on the 4-TEC and it's new on the TRX4. It's bigger than the other one. The unique thing about it is it does have this port here. And so that's so you can actually get in there and press the link button inside without having to take the whole receiver box apart. So they did improve that functionality. The wires are tucking up under here through the bottom. Just need to undo the screws around the top and take this top plate off, and then I'll be able to unplug the ESC and plug in the new ESC. It was just 3 screws to 2mm, and then I'll just lift this off. There's probably a gasket seal around it like the old style one. Yep, a big gasket seal. So you want to make sure you don't break that. Stuck on there. There you go. So yeah, just be careful about that. You're going to reuse that. Now here's inside the receiver box. Quite a bit more room than the older style, although it is still fairly efficiently designed. Unplugging the ESC receiver port from channel 2, and then you just lift it out and you just feed it out through the bottom. And that's all you, literally all you do, is you just fish it out. And then reverse of when you hook up the new one. And now my brushed motor system is free and I'm ready to install my brushless one. Alright, at this point the motor is in and installed, motor plate's on, pinions on, mesh is set, it's installed. Wiring is done nice. I'm not going to have to cut the wiring. The way that it loops around and under and up and over into the ESC. I have to seal my receiver box, so I just ran the wiring up and in and plugged it into channel 2. And all that's left is to solder on the battery connector. At this point the installation is done. I've just calibrated the ESC, and for that you just hold full throttle while you plug it in, and then you let off, and then you give it full reverse and then you let off. And so now everything's calibrated and it works. So now I just need to double stick tape down the ESC and the power switch, and we're ready to go brushless ripping. Okay, here we go. First drive of the Castle Creations brushless system on 2S LiPo.
And yes, there still is enough for initial. There still is enough for initial drifting. Wow. This is with the 28 tooth pinion. It was way faster. There's not enough room here.
Oh, it's ballistic now. It is really a ballistic missile now. There's not enough room here. Oh, it's so nice. Wow, it is so fast now. Woo! Making myself dizzy. I just lost throttle. Let's try and find out what happened. Is it super hot or is it under voltage? Because it just cut right out on me. Ooh, I might have overheated it. It's really hot. The motor's cooking. Yeah, I might have to down gear. Yeah, now it's fine. I overheated it. First run out, I overheated it. Hit thermal shutdown. So I should really down gear, I guess. That's too bad. I was hoping it would be able to handle the heat better. The ESC is hot and so is the motor. So that's with the 28 tooth pinion. I guess I'll have to gear down. All right, thanks for watching.